you're the boss. I'm going to do what you say. If you go to your boss tomorrow at work and you say, I know you're my boss, but I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. Well, you're going to be part of the unemployment. You're going to join the unemployment non-working force. Lord, Lord. But we don't do what he says. We deceive ourselves. Christians can be deceived. Do you believe it? Yes. Believe it. Be not deceived. God's not mocked. If you're going to sow to the flesh, you're going to reap corruption. If you sow to the Spirit, you're going to reap everlasting life. So here I am with this man. I got a decision. Now all of a sudden I have an opportunity to practice what I preach. To show love to somebody that I want to beat up. And you think, man, I've arrived, and I'm this, and I'm that. And all of a sudden a situation comes in your life that just brings that flesh right up to the top. Right? And so we finally got a hold of him. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to get my money. I told him I want cash. We're done with checks. So I go over and and I walk up to him and he's got a gun on his side. So I wasn't quite as bold then, but I think he's in security or something. That didn't scare me one bit though. Anyways, I walk up to him and he gives me the money. And I got my money. And then I began to preach to him. And I found out that he's going through a divorce. He's in the process. So I encouraged him. And I said that you need to be born again. And you need to seek God. And that's your greatest need. Your greatest need is not money. It's not getting your marriage back together. Your first and foremost greatest need is that you're reconciled to God. You can have the greatest marriage in the world but die without Christ. Which is not going to be the greatest marriage. You don't have Jesus anyway. You can have all the money in the bank and die without Christ, and that money's not one penny of that money is going to help you. See, because what we have to, that's part of the true gospel, is that we're all on death row. We're all on death row. One day our ticket's up. One day our number's up. One day the silver cord is going to be cut. And we're going to meet our Maker. I want not to be ashamed when I meet Jesus. I want to have boldness in that day and not be ashamed of Him at His coming. I said, we're all going that way. I'm telling this man that one day you're going to meet Him. And I got a chance to preach to him and to encourage him concerning his marriage. So you see, God had a plan there. You know, I could have just went up, took the money, and told him what I thought of him, and then left. Yesterday, I go into a store. And believe me, I'm not the boldest person in the world. I'm actually kind of shy. If it was up to me, I'm fine with not saying very much at all. But I went into the store, and I'm just walking around the store, and I meet this man, and the conversation jumps to Jesus. You know, it's not that hard to do. You know, we all have certain things in common. All human beings. And one of those is, we're all going to die. And the reason I use that a lot is because that the fear of man is death. That's the fear that's in the heart of man. And that's why they do all these things to be younger and hang on to their youth and all these stuff. But it don't matter how much cosmetic surgery you have. One day, it's going to all come to an end. And you're going to stand before your Maker. And as we began to talk, he told me, I'm going through a divorce. It's 2 people in 2 days going through trouble. And he said, I said, is there any hope? He said, there's no hope. There's just no hope. I just don't trust her. And he said, well, I've been going to church some. So I had an opportunity to encourage him to believe God. I said, with men it is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. So You know, I'm just one person. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn, because believe me, there were many times that I blew it. I should have said something I didn't. But that's just one person. Imagine all of us going out and really taking to heart the Great Commission. And here's the exciting thing, is that you're not alone. God is a co-laborer with you. He says that in the last verse of the Gospel of Mark, the last verse, Mark has 16 chapters, by the way. Well, we could maybe skip back a few verses to 17. Well, I'm sorry, 15. And he said unto them, Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believes and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned or condemned. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. They will speak with new tongues. They will take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. So you see some signs here, which we're not going to get into all those today, but some signs that follow them that believe. Are we believers?
Yes.
We're believers. We believe in the testimony of the Lord. Whose report will you believe? We got a choice. Always got a choice. Choose life. Verse 19. So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God. And here's where I'm getting to. And they went forth. Who's the they? Even more specific. Yeah, believers, right? Believers. I'm making a point of that. Believers. A believer is somebody that believes. We're not non-believers or unbelievers. We're believers. And the believers went forth. The believers went forth. Are you a believer? Are you a believer? You're a believer, right? You've believed God's testimony concerning His Son. And what do the believers do? They have a job. They go forth. It doesn't say, and the believers went up into a monastery. It didn't say that.